Here we go. All right. So, welcome everyone to our little Evergreen Huddle tonight. Thank you guys for letting me move the call. I had so much going on and needed to play with my grandbabies before I left for 18 days straight. So I wanted to be able to swoop them up from school and take them to get a little burger and play at the park, and I was able to do that. So thank you. Um, Tonight, I just wanted to huddle around our health first and foremost, and just again, what steps are we taking, to really embody the Optavia 3.0. And that's what I was on a leadership call today with Jan and um, Dr. A is in the group, Dan Bell, and they're really excited about like the Monday night calls, the Monday night podcasts are gonna like the last night's call was great, and the we formulated the agenda for the next 6 weeks, and the calls are going to be amazing. They're always once a month. They're going to have a health pros call, so these are going to be doctors, nurse practitioners. They'll be more clinical. So I would let your clients know that once a month they can have physicians talk about the program, and that they'll give their clinical opinion about, and they're even going to have them give their opinion about amino acids, about all the things, because I'm kind of beating that drum right now, and Jan and everybody's like, we get it. And what was cool to hear today is that Optavia is asking people to also, with Optavia 3.0, they're saying, don't even try to build your house without aminos. That should be the first thing in your cart, not an afterthought, not an add-on. That amino acids are no longer an add-on. They're not something that really they want to see that be the first thing in your cart. And if you could afford nothing else, that you would at least get your aminos in. And then you can use real food fuelings and some fuelings, So I was talking with Sheila, and no matter what budget somebody has, you think about Quest chips, right? They're $3.99, or higher sometimes. So usually if a client really wants to hit a home run and they only have a certain budget, we want to make sure they're on amino acids. We want them to pick their favorite fueling. That this is just kind of framework. I don't have a PowerPoint tonight, but we can put this together in our Evergreen group. We want to start them with their flavor of aminos. If they need to add Mio drops to it because they don't like the taste, then do that. Like, don't skip your amino acids because of the taste. What they're tasting, if they say, oh, it tastes kind of funny, they're tasting leucine. Leucine has a flavor, okay? And it takes getting used to. Now, what we all know, because we drink them once or twice a day, is you'll start actually craving your aminos, which is crazy. Where you're like, no, not only do I tolerate the taste, but I actually am craving it. Like when I ate a fueling the first time, I could taste the vitamins, and then all of a sudden I can't taste the vitamins. So we want to just have conversations with people around when you get your aminos, don't be surprised if you don't love them right off the bat. You're going to love what they do to your body. And then if you need to modify them and add Mio sugar-free drops, like, to flavor them to a more lemonade flavor or a mango flavor, by all means do that, but don't skip your amino acids. And then the next thing is, what's your kryptonite? Oh, my kryptonite is chips. I cannot get away from chips. I like crunch. Okay, let's make sure that for your $150 order that we put crunchers in there. And then also I'm a chocoholic. Okay, let's make sure we have the brownie. So now we have an order of 2 fuelings, amino acids. They can use, now they have access to the app, because once you have an active order, you can get in and use all of our recipes, all of our tracking, all of the coaching, all of the Monday night calls, Dr. A's ebooks, all the things become available to them at that small price of entry. And this is for people that may not even want to lose weight, but they're like, I just don't want to gain my weight back, or I just need to put on muscle. Let's recommend 2 fuelings that take their temptations away. And then let's see how much they can do on their own. And obviously, if they're like, no, I can afford more like $250, then we want to look at where they're at. and add maybe a bucket of whey, or have them get whey at the grocery store and have them have one more fueling, right? So that the reason the fuelings are important is because of the fiber that they have a really hard time hitting on their own. And so remember, the three things that we want to work with a client on in baby steps is protein, fiber, and water. And we're going to ask them, when you do program this next time, you don't have to do a 5-in-1, but how can I partner with you to hit your protein, your fiber, and your water? And how much of that responsibility do you want to own? And then have that conversation. And I love what Leslie said last night. Oh, everything in moderation. She said, when you have a food addiction, you can't have queso and chips in moderation because it's literally your kryptonite. So I think when we go to do like, hey, I want to get back on program, I'm on a budget. Okay, what's your kryptonite? What's getting you in the pantry? Let's go ahead and order fuelings that will take the kryptonite and set it aside. And then we'll see how you can do 1 lean and green or 2 lean and greens, and we'll use the app. So those are just some things. We're going to start to talk about this on the Monday night call. They're going to talk about like how to structure your program for metabolic health and get away. Optavia is trying to use the term metabolic synchronicity. They want to synchronize someone's health to where it's always going. So they're going to be doing some rebranding and 3.0 and new ads and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of prepping you guys to have, better conversations with people. And at the very least, if they're not ready to do anything about their body composition, that we would be able to share with them the health benefits of the amino acids and what that will do. So I'm going to share my screen and just pull up a couple things that I threw in. Let's see if I can even get there. I got to pull this up first. But I was playing with verbiage because I know that it's a lot easier. Let me stop the share because it's being silly. Oh, there we go. I know it's a lot easier when you have the actual words. So like I played with a couple of things and I wanted to read those to you. Unfortunately, you'll have to see my whole thing here, but I put it in our thread here. So this is more of an email. And so here's how I'm doing it. And I don't know that this is the best way, but this is easy. You guys get that notification that so-and-so's order is coming up in Premier in 7 days or 4 days. It tells you like, here comes so-and-so's order. Michelle Offerman's order is processing in 7 days or 4 days, right? So in that, it has literally her email is in blue on my email. So when I see it pop up, like, let me just give you an example. We'll just kind of pop around today and make this really like interactive. I'm just going to go to my email and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about because I really want us to just get in the habit of some baby steps that we do over and over and over. So, okay, so here we go. Christina Bell's order is processing in 7 days. Okay. Now all I did was click on this link. Okay. And then it started a new email. So if I go to my sent messages and I just see here's my email. Okay. So all I'm doing is trying to catch it before it goes in. Let me share with you the email that I think is the best one. Let me go back to Facebook. Let me pull it up and then I'll share my screen. After playing with it a little bit, share my screen. Here we go. Here's the long email, right? As we continue to learn more about body composition and whole body health, Optavia is now recommending that, and I got validation of this today from the leadership team, that this is 100% happening. And they asked me to do 1 to 2 calls on EAAs to make it a foundational step. And the Optavia is already putting it in all their literature. Okay. So for the metabolic reset, all that. So Optavia is now recommending that all clients begin with essential amino acids as a foundational step before starting any program. Okay, so this should be something that they keep in their cart. Why this matters. Without adequate amino acids, calorie reduction can lead to loss of lean muscle, not just fat, and impact energy, recovery, overall well-being. Here's why EAAs are important before you start. They help preserve lean muscle mass, support a healthy metabolism, promote fat loss, muscle recovery, contribute to immune function, cellular repair, balancing your blood sugar, appetite regulation, reducing cravings, provide foundational nutritional support as your body starts transitioning into the program. So when people are like, you know what, I'm thinking I'm going to get started in the spring, good. Let's start on the aminos now, okay? Because that will prep your body for the process that you're going to take it through. This simple step helps ensure your body is nutritionally supported, more resilient, better prepared for sustainable results physically, metabolically. Reach out to me with any questions. I'm happy to walk you through and support you fully. Your coach and friend, Rachel. So I can put this in an email, okay? So you guys can just cut and paste that. And then I wanted one for like a text message, like quick. So, hi X, that's their name. As part of Optavia's updated guidance, we now recommend starting with EAAs and then blah, 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 same thing. I like this line. So weight loss comes more from fat, not muscle. Okay, that's a very important thing. This steps help you feel more supported for safer and sustainable results. So this is a short and sweet version for people that you have more trust with but this one, I got a couple of people to hit me back on this, and really they're clients that have willy-nilly orders, and they were my coach's clients, and I haven't even talked to them, and this is opening the door for me to be able to actually have a conversation, with them. Okay. So I put those in the group. I thought this could be our continued baby step as we touch our business every day and just lead with our own health. And Michelle, I've been seeing you post about amino acids. So good. Just education, sharing education is all, that we really need to do. Okay. So with that, any questions? Do you guys have any? Oh, what happened to Kelly? We lost her.
She has a message that she's in Oklahoma with family and they were going to dinner. So it's you and I, but yes, I do have a question.
Oh, okay.
I
I
heard
saw
you
Kristen
say,
pop on, but then she left.
yeah, she couldn't see us. I don't know what's going on with her.
Oh, okay.
Um, so she said she watched the playback. So I guess it's you and I having this call, which is great. About the app. So past clients, right? They have used the apps
Yeah.
and then they haven't ordered for a while.
Okay.
I had one client that has an order where I've been in contact with three different people.
Okay.
That, in fact, one of them just placed an order with a couple boxes of essentials and an amino acid, which I'm super excited about.
Hey, that's a win.
So one of them had said about the book, about Dr. A's book, how it's an audio on there, but she hasn't ordered in a long time and it wasn't on her app. So my question is, do they need to be currently ordering to get some of the information off of the app, or they could still just go on? She was able to get on the app, but Dr. A's book was not on there as an audio.
I was told when we asked this a few weeks ago that they have to have an order. That
Okay,
there's
so
some
that makes sense.
intelligence that's going into that now, which is so good for all of us. And this is why we can say, a lot of people, oh, I don't know if I can still talk to you. I haven't been ordering. I need your help, those kind of conversations. I get them frequently. People will say, I have a question, but I haven't placed an order. I don't know if you'll still help me. Like they know that's the access point. So of course I get on the phone and I talk with them, and then I let them know that you want access to the community, the coaching, and getting your feet wet. Let's go ahead and place an order for your aminos and the two types of food that are getting you in trouble. Okay,
Okay, yeah.
because that's a baby step, and it's
Okay.
literally not going to.
I
And my
wondered if it was that.
yeah,
I wondered if
shipping
it
is
was that.
$7.95 So, I mean,
Yeah, we talked about that. So yeah, I'm really, that's a big win for me. The people I've reached out to, I haven't reached out to as many as I wanted to, but I started with the ones that probably haven't ordered in a while and that I had really good communication when they were ordering. And the three all said, "Oh, I've been meaning to call you." And
yeah,
so one of them, she orders a box every once in a while. But today we had a really long conversation. I just saw she ordered one amino and and the box, two boxes. The other one uses away a lot. And so we talked about the aminos and whole foods and everything like that. The other one has some medical things going on, but she really wants to start. They're all people who have been on 5-in-1
yeah,
again and again and again and again. And so I talked a lot about whole foods using a few, exactly what we're talking about. So that makes sense that she didn't see that book on there. And can I ask another question?
yeah, go ahead.
So you said the three things are protein, fiber, and water. I need a refresher on how to find out how much protein they need. It has been so long since I've had a new
Yeah,
client and figuring out a TEE in regards to somebody who has a lot of weight to lose.
yeah.
But when we look at how much realistically she would like to see, like figuring out a TEE for that. It was a protein to one today because that was really important for her. And I'm just like, yeah, I'll get back to you. I told her, I said, I
Well,
haven't been in my business. My feet have not been in it for the last
yeah.
6 months, a lot. And I need a refresher. And so I will get back to you.
Let's play with, let me see if I can actually bring it up on the screen. I don't know if I can. Sometimes I'm pretty sure I can. I just want to.
I think the protein, if I remember right, had to do with the BMI and their age and their BMI and then time
Yeah,
stuff.
so basically, let me grab my little chart right here. Okay, so
What I need on
we'll
I
kind
need
of
a
take it step by step, but let me know when I do this if you can see. I
I
don't,
can see that. Hmm.
can you see my calculator?
Yes,
Okay, cool. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Eh.
it's pretty big.
Okay. Okay. So first thing is, you don't calculate. So if we go step by step, protein calculation is calculated at a lean body mass.
Okay.
If you're looking for an exact, I would go with 22. Okay. Now, again, the sticky note that goes with that is they do not have to get to that weight. Okay. If they're like, oh my God, Michelle, I look so old, I look so skinny, that's fine. But we calculate protein intake at our lean mass. So you could use 22, you could use 23, but I just use 22. Okay.
Okay.
So I kind of go straight down the middle. So like for me, it says 124, which I feel really good at 125 to 127. That's pretty lean for me, but for protein, it's right on the money. So what I do then is take that weight, 124, because that's what's saying 22 for my height, and then I multiply it by my minimum. Okay, so let's do minimum and ideal. Okay, so minimum is point oh 0.08. Okay. Oh no, hold on. That didn't work. 124 times zero point 0.8. 99.2 grams of protein. Okay, that's
Mhm.
my minimum. Now I'm over 50, which means I'm sarcopenic, which means I'm catabolic, which means my body actually eats my body. So that's like the beauty of aging is that your body becomes sarcopenic and catabolic. And that means that it actually will, all bodies become catabolic when they don't get what they need because your body will behave like a parasite and go get what it needs because it's always trying to help you. So if it gets less than this, it will get it from my hair, my teeth, my bones, my glutes, my thighs, my muscle. That's the first place it's going to go. Okay. So then women say, oh my God, I feel so soggy. My arms look weird in a tank top. But yet they do nothing to stop that process, right? So the process is to feed the muscle and not starve the muscle. So now I've got this number. Now, what I ask them is how many times a day do you eat to have a healthy metabolism? And they'll say, well, I know I need to eat like 5 times a day, minimum, sometimes 6. Okay, let's do 5. Okay, so every meal should have 19 grams of protein. But here's the science. The science says that if you don't hit 30 grams or more, then and take an amino acid, both, okay? You have to have leucine at 2.5 grams to activate your protein. So what I tell them is, listen, let's not use the minimum, okay? Track with me. 124, and uh, when you're over 50, it should be 1 to 1, especially if you're active, if you want to see tone. So I'm going to go through a lot, but we have this recording so you guys can watch it again. But this is really helpful if you can digest this and just keep practicing. So 124 grams, okay? Now, if I wanted to know, well, how many calories is that? Because I'm going to now have 124 grams, and when I divide that by 5, okay, I'm getting closer, but I still need 2 meals to have more than 30, okay? Because 30 is where muscle protein synthesis actually occurs. So every meal does not have to have 30, but 2 of the meals do. And if you go over 124 a little bit, it's fine. We don't want to be crushing protein to where we put stress on our kidneys. But we want to be at this rate, right? So now if you look at, well, how many calories is that if I hit all my protein? Okay. Well, now you multiply that by protein has 4 calories per gram. But it never comes in with just protein. It usually comes in with fat, unless it's a very lean fish or an egg white. It's going to have some fat. But if we just calculate protein at 4 calories per gram, I'm only eating, if I hit all my protein, I'm only getting 500 calories a day. Okay? So I still have fat and I still have carbohydrates that I have to have. So this is where people kind of like, this is where a lot of Optavia coaches don't know how to do macros, right? Which is what I'm kind of teaching you guys now. And then if you go, well, what is fat? Well, if I have 50 grams of fat a day, which is kind of a lot on program, our parameters are a little less, but if that is times 9, because fat has 9 calories per gram, so that would be 450 coming from fat, like healthy fats like avocado and olive oil drizzled or MCT oil, okay? So, and then I still have to have my carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are 4 calories per gram. So carbs are 4, um, fat is 9, and protein is 4. Okay, so when you look at the back of a label and you're like, this says it has 19 grams of protein times 4, the total calories of protein is 76 out of that item. Okay, so what I do is I tell people, look, let's take your protein, okay, and let's divide it by 3. So 41 grams in one setting, what does that look like? Well, that looks like 2 lean and greens will hit that, because lean and greens are anywhere between 30 and 50 grams. 5 ounces of beef is 50 grams of protein. A chicken breast is about 35 to 40, just depending. So I like them on a 4, 2, and 1, because I can help them hit the protein. I can help them eat 2 meals. They like it better. They don't crave as much because they're having 2 lean and greens. Certainly, if they don't want to, I don't make them. But then I know, hey, 2 lean and greens, we're at 82. And then I have fueling number 1, fueling number 2, fueling number 3, fueling number 4, and a whey shake. And the equivalent, here goes the EAA, 60. Okay, look what that EAA does. So if they blow it, and they will blow it, that's our insurance. They got 60 grams of protein from that EAA. So even if they go, oh my God, Michelle, I hate meat. I just don't, I'd rather just have 1 lean and green. Look at how this works. So 1 lean and green, you know what? Have lean beef. Make sure you're getting high protein, 40 from that 1 lean and green, 60 from the EAA. a couple of fuelings, right? And a whey shake, and they're there. They're more than there. So this is why we want to lead with the EAAs. Does that make sense?
Yes, no, it does. And that helped me because I had the one that she put the order in today. We talked a lot about protein. A lot. She wants to
Yeah,
know. She's already been taking her own kind of her own protein, which I said, that's
yeah.
fine. I go, but this and I went over a lot of the things that you had already said to us about how why it's important. I said I do it every day. I just do it every day. I do one a day. I probably should be doing two. Talked about the scale. She didn't do a scale. The importance of that. She's going to go where I go, my body met RX. She's going to go there and
Oh,
get it.
good. So you're going to get a scan. And if they say to you, you know what, Michelle, when I have that whey protein, I am so bloated. If they say that, move them to a plant-based protein from the store.
Okay.
Because whey protein, if think of Americans as having the unhealthiest microbiome ever, okay? And we have such an unhealthy microbiome that whey protein for women can be hard. Others take to it and they're like, I love it. I don't feel bloated. We want to ask, are you regular? Are you pooping every day? A couple times a day? And if they're like, nope, I have the whey and it constipates me, or I'm not able to, once they start hitting their protein, they may feel constipated. That's just a normal thing. And so what we do is we have them take magnesium at night.
Mm.
And the oxide magnesium is the best. Calm is good. Calm is good, especially if you do a pretty good serving of it right before bed. They should wake up and have a bowel movement. But yeah, if people start saying, no, it kind of makes me feel bloated, and then you know what, go to Costco and get their plant-based. It has no sugar. It's fine. It's fine for them to have a plant-based protein and spend their money on fuelings and other things. So we don't have to be a stickler about the whey, but um, and honestly, whey protein is just a really good one for when you get hungry and you're like, I'm just hungry. Or if here's what I do too. So say they are, I'll pull my calculator up again. Say they have, um, let's see. So they have a lean and green and it's like 30, or no, this is what happened with my friend Jennifer. So she was making lean and greens that like barely had enough protein, and I'm trying to get her MPS. I'm like, we have to have one meal where it's well over 30, okay? Preferably twice a day. It's recommended that you have two MPS meals, muscle protein synthesis meals. So that could be a really nice lean and green breakfast and a dinner. And then we could do fuelings and we could do whey shakes and we could do our aminos. But say they're having a hard time, like their dinner, say that I believe it was like the flavors of home. I have to look. We should look. I'm not certain on how much protein flavors of home have, but if they add a whey shake to it at dinner time, now I know they went over the 30. So I'm like, if you ever feel like you don't have enough protein at dinner time, drink a whey shake with it. And that's a beautiful way to get 24 plus maybe they're 25 that they're worried about. Now we're well over 30. We had an MPS meal. Um, and they can make MPS snacks too. Like they could take a whey shake and vanilla and mix it with their aminos. And now they just got a whopper of like post workout. That's incredible for
Yeah,
them.
I use that. Now I use that, and I did talk to the gal about that. Like I use it because I travel.
Mhm.
You know, I have a really good breakfast, and then I'm traveling down
Yeah.
to my, Laverne or wherever, and it's ready for me to have, um, another fueling or a snack or whatever. And I'll take a scoop of whey and the aminos, and I'll have that. It's just so easy for me. And I will do it also after working out, like when I'm in Havasu, I do that a lot. Um, and so I was trying to give her ideas. She goes, "Oh, you could do that." I'm like, "Yes, you could do that." I go, "It's a little more calories," but we also talked about tracking because some of them are like the fuelings are trying to get away from it and more whole foods. And I'm like, "Well, then we need to track. We need to figure your TEE. We need to figure calorie deficit. What does that look like?" And like I said, it
Yes.
kind of takes some work. She goes, "Oh, I have to work at this." Of course, she knows that, but
Yeah.
yeah, you kind of do.
So that you have that down. So then, of course, the TEE, and you just play with it. Keep playing with it. Remember, 0.8 is our minimum. And you can go incrementally and say, you know, if someone's having a hard time hitting protein, just start them at point 0.8, you know? And
Mhm.
then the next, when they get their sea legs, go point 0.9, and then go 0.95. Okay, good. All we need to do. So you're just bringing them up so that they have the assurance that what they're losing is not, that while they're losing, we want, anytime you lose fat, you're catabolic because you're eating your fat cells, which is good. But we don't want them to be sarcopenic at the same time, eating tissue and organs. That's a no-no. So we don't want to see that. And Optavia couldn't say that with full confidence when they first launched the 5-in-1. They didn't have the aminos on deck, and so it's true that a lot of people lost muscle. It's true, and we can admit that, but you know better, you do better, right? Um, then the TEE. So let's say that I am wanting to be 124 pounds times 11. So that's your base number, okay? So my sit on the couch, don't do squat, sedentary lifestyle would say that if I don't want to gain and I don't want to lose, I would be here. But I walk with my weighted vest. I go to the gym. I take classes. So I'm going to use after you do the 124 times 11, then you're going to use your levers, right? So I'm going to be conservative and say times 1.1, and that gets me to 1500 calories, right? So now I have my 1500 calories. I want them to be the best calories that there are, right? So I need to have, because say my current weight is 131, okay, times 11 is 1441, times 1.1 is 1585, okay? So I want to see a weight loss because how am I going to get from 131 to 124? Well, I have to create a deficit. So if I say, yeah, I'm okay with minus 500 calories, okay? So I'm going to be at 1,085 calories a day, hypothetically. But I have to hit my protein, right? So now this is where you go, how are you going to do that at the grocery store? One, how are you going to do that at Chili's or Chipotle? The whole dang bowl is that much, right? So this is where we get to say, hold on, let me divide that into 5 and see how can I make 200-calorie meals? Well, I can do a fueling and an amino acid. I can do a whey shake and an amino acid. I can do another fueling. I could do a lean and green that, right? And now I could see how I could play with that is to say, well, I have a lean and green. Even if I have another lean and green, that's 2. And then I have my aminos and a couple of fuelings, right? I'm getting there. So, and then I have a whey shake, say, and we know that those are a little bit, mine's actually 90 calories because I use a plant-based one. The whey upsets my stomach. So anyway, I'm here, I'm at, okay, Rachel, you shaved off about 400 to 500 calories. So I should expect at 450, divided by 3,500 calories, um, sorry, I did that wrong. 3,500 calories divided by 450. So I'm going to lose a pound every 7.77 days. So this is how I can kind of calculate their rate of loss. Um, and the higher the protein in that calorie range, like if I'm willing to do whey shakes and say, okay, I got the whey shake, I've got another whey shake, or my shakes, right? They're at 28 grams. I've got my aminos, and I am still under 500 calories, and I can hit all my protein between my aminos, a couple whey shakes, and a fueling. So you're mainly just saying, as I sit with you, I want to calculate your protein, your fiber, and your water. I'll help you with your TEE. I'll help you to not feel hungry. I cannot help you with not having hunger if you are going to skip the EAAs because they definitely take the edge off and they definitely quiet cravings. And I can't if you're not going to have at least two fuelings because they provide the fiber and then we need the lean and greens, you know. So 1,200 calories is a great place for people our age to be that want to lose weight, and we can help them nail their protein, their EAAs, and use, even if they had two lean and greens a day, they're going to be doing really great with that. And then we want them to go move their body and do some somatic stuff like get to the gym, sweat, walk with your weighted vest, take a yoga class. Like, we don't want them being sedentary because yeah, they need to move. If they're over 40, they're gonna need that. You know, yeah. So I hope that was helpful. You can listen to that, you know, a couple times, or if you guys need a refresher. But just get your calculator and play with like your TEE and the calories are actually, I wouldn't like, for someone that has a lot of weight to lose, you said your client, she had quite a bit. Um,
The one that I was going to help her with her TEEs, she does, and she's actually taking the shot, and it's like it's just the things just aren't working for her, but she's just doing her thing. She has a lot of depression. She's the one we talked about before, the depression. I talked with her just the other day
oh
about
no.
the things that happen with the GLP ones and not having the aminos and how that helps, so I don't know.
She's the one that had a lot of loss too, yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, a lot of grief. And so there's just a lot going on. I know she's like, I think she's 239 and
What's
she
a
would love,
healthy weight for her?
I, she was saying like she would like to just hit 200 right now. I mean,
Okay.
uh,
So 239, if,
that would be like mindset wise, like
yeah,
wow,
a
30
big win.
pounds. Yeah, yeah, it would be.
Okay, so if is she pretty sedentary? Yeah. So
Yep.
at her weight, what was her weight? 239
239, uh-huh.
times 11. Okay, so she's if she doesn't move, her she's 26, 29. Okay.
She
Then
wants to move, right? I mean, those are the things that she's motivated to do that. She's just not doing it yet.
yeah. And
It's
so
hard.
if we could cut 500 calories a day,
That's what I was thinking. That's what I remember us doing that with me, the 500 calories a day.
500 calories is a pound a week because, you know, 500 times 7 is 3,500, right? So that's a pound a week. That's what we have to be in a deficit for. And so and that gives her still, I mean, she's still eating 2,000 calories a day. But what I think this is kind of cool if you think about this is if you say this is a 1 pound a week, but if we wanted to hit 2 pounds a week, which is really exciting, right? You would have her at, so let's see, if she was at two, so if you put her at like 1,200 calories a day, right? So say she had a lean and green. We know we're hitting protein with those. You don't even have to. What I love about the app is you log all that stuff. They hit their protein like on plan. They don't need to do any macros or anything because watch have her on even a 5-in-1 active. I don't know how hungry she is or if she gets hungry, but I like two lean and greens. So that brings us there. Then we do, oh, I didn't clear it. Sorry. So 350, one lean and green, 300, more of a leaner egg white one, something like a frittata, second one, EAAs, right? Um, uh, the protein shake, fueling, let's see. And on a GLP-1, I would imagine that's all she's going to want to eat. Like if you fill her with two fuelings, a whey shake, an EAA, and two lean greens, and even if she had a piece of fruit like a green apple or some raspberries, she's going to be like, oh my God, this is so much eating. Well, it's going to fill her up. And now she's at 1,020. Her TEE was like 2,600. So take the where she's at right now, right? Minus 1,050 even, just say that. Look at her deficit is 1,550, okay, a day. That is a lot. She's full of fiber, she's full of water, she's full of protein, and she's just going to try to get 8,000 steps in. That's a great, great plan for her. Then from there, you go 1,550. Sorry, no, you start with 3,500 to lose a pound, divided by 1,550. Every 2 days, she's going to lose a pound. So she's going to be, and if she's like, well, I'm still hungry, I do not believe she would say that. But if she did, then you know what? Do three lean and greens and a whey shake and an amino and a fueling. I mean, and if she's still hungry after that, it's emotional hunger. And she really has to go and do some somatics because whatever that is, breath work, going to yoga, and it's not going to feel good at first. She's not going to want to do those things. Nobody, when you're depressed and you're down, you don't want to. But is it tolerable and can you do it? Because that's the piece that she's missing is the Monday night calls and the community and the win calls. It's like none of this is going to feel good at first. But if you're still hungry when you're full of fiber and you're full of protein and you're full of water and tea and coffee and 0 calorie beverages and you're still hungry, that's just an emotional hunger that like no program will help her because she needs to feel good in her own body. And I would recommend maybe events or more deeper healing for her because that's she's just chasing her tail. But this is a good framework.
Thank you. Yep, that is a good framework to go over
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, you're welcome. All right, well, I'm gonna go pack and organize my life a little bit, but
I'll make it a video and send it out to everybody else.
oh, awesome. Yeah, that's good. I just want to get in the rhythm of talking the talk, walking the walk. And then that way, when we get a hold of clients, you know how it is. When you step out of the business and you're not talking about it anymore or calculating anymore or playing, like we're playing tonight, this is play, this is not actually work. We're studying our trade. If someone calls you, you feel like you have something to offer
Yeah.
where you're like, hey, I sharpened my pencil for you. So just keep
Yeah.
sharpening your pencil. We won't talk again until sometime in March because of my travel will be crazy. We'll get some calls. We'll get two more calls together in March, but I just think we should just take baby steps and keep.
Okay. I know that real fast, there was a question I think Kelly had about when you put in that join us for the metabolic resets that's in Oregon, that you put that in there. It's an actual event that's in Oregon.
Yeah, they're
And
doing
then
one in Dallas this
you
week.
said something about so this post that seems to be working well is simple. Ask who's interested in joining a metabolic reset. It says I'm going, but I would love to have you on the journey with me. But we didn't know like I'm not going.
No, it's there's some in
Kelly asked
Dallas,
that.
there's some
Okay.
in Oregon, there's some in Southern Cal. So they're going to put these actual like physical things together. And I'm just throwing stuff out there, not so much to say, oh, you guys get on a plane and go do that, but just so that you know that the company is huddling around this like uh, metabolic reset and that the calls on Monday nights are going to be this kind of stuff. We're actually going to do a class in a few weeks, like learn how to read labels. They're going to talk about like the stuff I just did with you, like 9 grams per this, because a lot of labels are false. Actually, they have more calories than what they're reporting. So you can actually see, like, wait a minute, if this has 36 carbohydrates, 36 times 4 is this. If it has 13 grams of fat, 13 times 9 is this. And if it has 9 grams of protein, this thing has 610 calories and they're reporting it at 450. And then people are wondering because there's not truth in labeling, actually. So this is a good skill. So my point is that the company is getting in line with like real health coaching stuff that I think is going to be a lot better than just pounds on the scale. So Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that they had, I thought I saw, sorry, I thought they had something about something, I think they had something in San Diego recently.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
seeing that.
And those are going to be like a lot of hype, just being real. There are a lot of
That's
hype
what I thought.
events and stuff like that. They're trying to hype up the coaches to let them know what's going on. Um, but I would just say for this group, hey, if there's one in your backyard, definitely go. You'll learn something. But I think if we tune in to the Monday night call faithfully, you're going to like what you hear on those. They're getting better. This call when we can, and then just putting stuff in the group that's working for us, leading with our own health, and that's it. That's all we can do for the 5 hours and not feel like, oh, we're overextending or we're pushing people to do things that they don't want to do, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Love you, friend. I'll see you soon. Oh,
Okay.
Julie, side note, let me stop recording. That way.